Have you ever heard a scream so terrifying that it made you question whether it belonged to this world at all? A sound so raw, so full of desperation, that it burned itself into your memory forever. 2 nights ago, I lived through something that still haunts me. Something I can't explain. Something I'm not sure I even want to understand. It was 4:30 in the morning. My alarm went off, sharp and loud, dragging me out of sleep. I've always been the kind of person who gets up right away, so I threw the blanket off and went to put on my uniform. The house was quiet, the air still heavy with that strange silence that only exists before dawn. And then it happened. From directly above my head, I heard a scream. It wasn't just any scream, it was blood-curdling. A scream so filled with agony that I felt my skin crawl. It lasted about 5 seconds, but those 5 seconds felt endless. My heart pounded in my chest. My whole body froze. And when it finally stopped, the silence that followed was almost worse than the sound itself. At first I thought maybe I was dreaming. Maybe my mind was still foggy from sleep. But no, it was too sharp, too real. I stood there in shock, staring at the ceiling, and then I remembered something that made my stomach drop. I live on the top floor of my building. There is nothing above me. No apartments, no rooms. Who's their roof? And yet, the scream had come from directly above me. It didn't sound distant or muffled like someone shouting outside. Trapped. As if it came from inside a room that shouldn't exist. I tried to shake it off, but fear gripped me. I told myself it was just someone outside, maybe a drunk neighbor, maybe a fight in the street. But deep down I knew this was different. What unsettled me even more was that no one else seemed to hear it. The walls in my building are so thin, I can hear my neighbors talking, laughing, even whispering sometimes. That scream was loud enough to wake the dead, so how could it be that my parents, sleeping just down the hall, never stirred? When I asked later, they looked at me with confusion. They hadn't heard a thing. Neither had the neighbors. It was as if I was the only one chosen to hear it. When I finally stepped outside, I looked up at the roof. The sky was still dark, the world still asleep. The rooftop was empty, silent. Nothing out of place. For a moment, I thought about climbing up to see for myself, but something inside me screamed, "No." My instincts told me to leave it alone, so I got in my car, started the engine, and drove to work. But all day, I couldn't escape it. The sound replayed in my mind over and over, like a recording stuck on repeat. Every time I blinked, I saw the image of someone up there, screaming for their life, unseen, unheard, except by me. When I came home that evening, the building felt different. The neighbors were whispering, the atmosphere heavy. My mother told me that our elderly neighbor, the man who lived in the apartment just beneath the roof, hadn't been seen all day. He hadn't answered his door. Nobody had seen him leave. A few hours later, the police arrived. They searched the building, floor by floor, and then they went up. Oh! The roof. There, hidden behind old, rusted locks, they found a door that led to a forgotten storage room. A room none of us even knew was there. When they forced it open, the truth was revealed. Inside, they found the old man, lifeless, his body cold, his face twisted in pure horror, his eyes wide open, frozen in the moment of his last scream. And the coroner confirmed what I already knew deep down. He had died at exactly 4:30 a.m., the same moment I heard that scream. Abdurrahim. I felt the blood drain from my face. I had heard his final cry for help. I was the only witness to his last desperate plea. But I did nothing. I left him to die alone, locked away where no one could reach him. Since that night, I can't sleep. Every morning, at exactly 4:30, I wake up on my own. Even if I don't set an alarm, and in the silence of my room, I hear it again. That scream. Not from the roof, not from outside, from inside my head, as if it attached itself to me. I was the only one who heard him, the only one he reached. And now, I will carry that sound with me forever. If this story gave you chills, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves true horror stories. But let me leave you with one final question. If you were the only one to hear a scream from the dead, would you believe it was real? Or would you fear it was meant only for you?